We end up listening to what everybody else has to say. We may forget to do what we are inspired to do.
So listen, everybody's going to have an opinion on what you should do with your life. Everybody.
So throughout this journey, I have learned to block everything out and focus on my truth.
Rise and shine, it's Espresso time. What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. I believe in you, and this channel is designed to be part of your daily success routine. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message. Ignore the noise. Over to you, Gaur Gopal. Also, if you want to know what Gaur Gopal and other successful entrepreneurs have to say about building unstoppable confidence, check out my 254 Confidence series, where every day for the next 254 days, I will send you a morning video for free to help you build your confidence. The link to join is in the description below.
Well, it's easy to make a buck, very hard to make a difference.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
A vegetable vendor used a whiteboard with the words "fresh vegetables sold here" to attract people to buy his vegetables. A man came up to him and said, "Simply by seeing, we can tell that your vegetables are so fresh. Why do you need to advertise them as fresh? Rub off the word fresh." The vendor did so, leaving behind the words "vegetables sold here" on the board. Another man came up and said, "We know you're selling vegetables, not fruits. Why don't you wipe off the word vegetables?" The vendor complied. Left on the board now were two words, "sold here." After a while, an elderly lady approached him and said, "If you're sitting in the market, you're not giving your veggies for free, are you? Take off that sold." The vendor removed the sold, and the whiteboard had only one word left, "here." A schoolboy passing by teased the vegetable seller, saying, "Everyone in the world knows you're sitting here, not there. Why the here?" The vegetable seller erased the last word, making the whiteboard clean and empty. Another person came up and said, "Only a stupid man would keep such a nice whiteboard empty. Why don't you write something on it to advertise your vegetables?" Everybody around us has an opinion to make. Everybody around us has a suggestion to offer, and most often with the best intentions. But if we end up listening to what everybody else has to say, we may forget to do what we are inspired to do, what we are meant to do. In the noise of others' suggestions and opinions, don't lose your voice. Take good advice, but also learn the art of navigating through that advice to follow your own journey.
So listen, everybody's going to have an opinion on what you should do with your life. Everybody, your friends, your family, your culture, your society, your community, your customers, online haters, everybody's got an opinion on what you should do with your life. And it's tempting to want to take the advice. One, because it gives us advice, but two, there's also somebody to blame, right? Like if it doesn't work out, it's not my fault, it's that person's fault. They said I should do it. At some point though, you have to decide that you are going to be an adult, that you are in control, that you want to go off and build your own life, and only you know what that looks like. And you have to have the courage and the confidence to step up and say, "I'm in charge. This is my life now. I get to decide what I want to do." And some opinions will matter, and some opinions will make a difference, and others you have to let bounce off you. You're not going to be able to please everybody. Everybody has an opinion on what you should do with your life, and the only one that really matters truly is this one right here. So how do you decide? How do you know what the difference is? How do you know which opinions you should take, which you should listen to? Because on the one hand, it's you want to take advice, you want to take counsel, you don't know everything. And on the other hand, it's your life, you got to decide. How do you make those two things work together? I'm going to give you 3 ideas that I think could really help you. Number 1 is understand what your one word is. Your one word is your most important core value. Mine is believe, Yours is whatever it is. It's worth going through the exercise. I think it's one of the most important exercises you can ever do in your life. It becomes the filter through which you see the world. And so for me, it's believe. And believe is around believing in yourself, having self-confidence, believing in the work that you're doing, having passion for it, and believing that it's going to work out, believing in the impact, believing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even if you only see darkness around you right now. That's believe. And so all of the decisions that I make are through the lens of believe. Every new piece of content that I put on my channel is through the lens of believe. And so if you give me advice that has nothing to do with believe, it may be great potential advice, but it's not for me. How do I know what's for me? Because I'm standing on my rock of belief. And if you don't know what value you stand on, it's easy to get pulled in a lot of different directions. It's easy to look at somebody else's life and say, I want to be like that. No, I want to be like that. No, oh, maybe you're right. I should go over here. You don't have confidence because you don't know who you are. And so the starting point is figuring out what your one word is, because that is at the core. It's your most important core value. So someone might say for my YouTube channel, hey, you should profile the top stupidest mistakes that this person has made, or the top most hateful things that that person said, or the top reasons why this person's an idiot. Chances are those videos would actually blow up. People like negativity more than positivity, unfortunately. I'm not gonna make those videos. It's not believe. Right? I want to spread positivity and hope and optimism. That's what I want to spread in the content that I put out. And so it's an easy no. Even though from a strategy point of view, it might be a great thing to blow up my channel, I don't want to go down that path. It's not believe. And so when you understand what your one word, most important core value is, it becomes the filter for your entire life, your entire business. And as questions and feedback and suggestions come into you, it becomes that filter so you can make better decisions. Step number 2 is the boom, 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 boom test. And what I mean by that is, if your heart is going boom, 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 like you're nervous, somebody suggests something to you and it sounds exciting, but you're nervous and you're scared, then you have to go and do that thing. You have to go and do that thing. Just to teach yourself that you are the kind of person who, when you're nervous, when you're scared, when you're fearful, you jump into it, you attack it, you want to beat it. Because if you want to go off and do some crazy big thing, right? We're entrepreneurs, we got a big crazy mission that we're trying to go off and save the world from something, right? We want to spread our message. If you can't do this one little scary thing in front of you, you can't do that. There's no way you're going to go off and accomplish that big thing. And so train yourself anytime your heart is being nervous, right? It's booming. You're scared of doing something. You're called upon. You're asked to rise to a challenge. You're nervous. You're fearful. You're scared. Go and do that thing just to show yourself that you can. That's how you actually build self-respect. That's how you actually build self-confidence. It's when you're feeling afraid and you jump in and do it anyway. I don't believe in be fearless. I don't think you can be fearless. I think if you're fearless on a daily basis, it means you're playing life so small that nothing scares you. I think it's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's feeling the fear and saying, I'm scared of this, and I'm the kind of person who rises to a challenge and I'm gonna go off and attack it. And so when you get a suggestion, when somebody gives you an opinion, is it something that you actually want to do? Is it something that makes you scared? And if yes, then you have to go off and do that thing just to show yourself that you can. And the third filter is, what will you regret? If you get hit with a suggestion, somebody says you should do this, think about, will you regret not doing it? We very rarely regret the things that we do. We regret the things that we didn't do. We regret the actions not taken. And so when you get hit with a suggestion and you want to do it, but you're afraid, and we got the boom, boom, boom test already, imagine your life at 100 years old. Fast forward, you're at the end of your life, you're sitting on your rocking chair, you're in some retirement home, life is almost over for you, and look back at the past decades of your life. Will you regret not having taken action on it? This is the thing I use to help push me through fear as well. If somebody suggests, hey, you should go do an interview with this person, and I'm afraid, that means I have to do it, but also I fast forward to 100 years old and said, I could have done that. I could have done that. I could have made that thing happen, but I didn't. And now I've lived the past 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, depending on how old you are, with regret. And so I imagine it as I've got, something stuck in my tooth. Something stuck in my tooth, I can't get it out. And it's bothering me, but then I punch myself in the arm. Ow, that hurt. I punched hard. I punch myself in the arm, and so I don't feel the toothache anymore. I don't feel that thing stuck in between my teeth. That's what regret can be used for. You don't want to live in the regret 24/7. You don't want to live in the negativity and the fear 24/7. But in moments when you feel like you're about to play small, in moments when you get hit with this opinion or suggestion that you know is the right thing for you, but you're afraid that it's not going to work out, I use that fear of regret to make it so big in the moment that I have to go off and do that thing. That's what helped me get my YouTube channel going. That's what helped me do my presentations and my tours and my speaking gigs and my books and all of these things. I'm scared. I'm afraid to do it. I imagine myself at 100 and say, if I don't write that book, if I don't make those YouTube videos, if I don't go and interview that person, if I don't try to push my 10 million subscriber goal, if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And that fear forces me into positive action to go off and do it. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what filter are you gonna use to make your decisions better? So the next time somebody gives you feedback and you're thinking about it, what filter are you gonna use to help you make the best decision from the 3 that I gave? I'd love to hear your feedback. Put in the comments below.
Let me tell you, you should feel so proud of making it to this day. And I hope that you're excited to get started on that next chapter. But I also imagine that you might think about all that history, all those heroes who came before you, and you might also feel a little pressure, you know? Pressure to live up to the legacy of those who came before you. Pressure to meet the expectations of others. And believe me, I understand that kind of pressure. I've experienced a little bit of it myself. You see, graduates, I didn't start out as the fully formed First Lady who stands before you today. No, I had my share of bumps along the way. Back when my husband first started campaigning for president, folks had all sorts of questions of me. What kind of First Lady would I be? What kinds of issues would I take on? Would I be more like Laura Bush or Hillary Clinton or Nancy Reagan? And the truth is, those same questions would have been posed to any candidate's spouse. That's just the way the process works. But as potentially the first African-American First Lady, I was also the focus of another set of questions and speculations, conversations sometimes rooted in the fears and misperceptions of others. Was I too loud or too angry or too emasculating? Or was I too soft, too much of a mom, not enough of a career woman? Then there was the first time I was on a magazine cover. It was a cartoon drawing of me with a huge afro and a machine gun. Now, yeah, it was satire, but if I'm really being honest, that knocked me back a bit. It made me wonder, well, just how are people seeing me? Or you might remember the on-stage celebratory fist bump between me and my husband after a primary win that was referred to as a terrorist fist jab. And over the years, folks have used plenty of interesting words to describe me. One said I exhibited a little bit of uppittyism. Another noted that I was one of my husband's cronies of color. Cable news charmingly referred to me as Obama's baby mama. And of course, Barack has endured his fair share of insults and slights. Even today, there are still folks questioning his citizenship. And all of this used to really get to me. Back in those days, I had a lot of sleepless nights worrying about what people thought of me, wondering if I might be hurting my husband's chances of winning his election, fearing how my girls would feel if they found out what some people were saying about their mom. But eventually, I realized that if I wanted to keep my sanity and not let others define me, there was only one thing I could do. And that was to have faith in God's plan for me. I had to ignore all of the noise and be true to myself, and the rest would work itself out. So throughout this journey, I have learned to block everything out and focus on my truth.
If you want another amazing video highlighting excellence in the Indian community, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.